This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Hey, we're here. We're doing it. Merry Christmas. A very special Christmas Eve episode of the Carty Method Podcast. It is your favorite show of the week, which is the show where I look at your portfolio. I'm all about telling you or helping you get to the place that you really should be with your pictures. That's kind of my goal, here as a photographer and a coach, content creator, I guess you can call me at times, but I am a professional photographer. I am a professional photographer first. Steinmetz, glad to see you, buddy. Let's go. Who's got a question? What's up, Mikey? You said you got a question for me. Scuba Steve has his wings. Let's go, Scuba Steve. Excited to look at your picture, my guy. Welcome back. By the way, we're on a goal here. Our goal is, we're trying to get members. Members is how this channel keeps going. I'm trying to get 1,000 true fans. So, you can help by hitting the join button.
Creating content for you on YouTube has been an incredible journey, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. If my videos are helping you with your photography business, I've got something super exciting to share: the Carty Method YouTube memberships. When you hit the join button, you unlock exclusive perks that take your experience with me to the next level. Here's what's in it for you. First, your support keeps all my live broadcasts completely ad-free. No distractions, just pure focus on growing your photography skills and business. Second, you get access to my members-only community posts where I share behind-the-scenes updates. I give you sneak peeks of upcoming shoots and projects that I'm working on. Third, you're going to stand out in my chat with a crown badge next to your name that upgrades the longer that you're a member. It's a slick way to show your support and be recognized in the community. And let's talk about those custom emotes. These are photography related, exclusive to members, and perfect for making your comments in my live chat stand out. Joining unlocks exclusive live streams and live chats, which give you access to secret, unscheduled content. Just last month, I brought members into the studio to watch me light, shoot, and direct a subject. This kind of insider content is only for members. And here's the big one. Your questions get priority answers in my comments. It's like having a fast pass for personalized feedback. All of this is yours for just $4.99 a month. That's $5. Your support helps me create even better content, connect with you in new ways, and grow this incredible community. And by the way, whether you choose to join or not, I want you to know how much I appreciate you being here. Together, we're building a very strong, vibrant photography community. My number one goal is to help you turn your photography dreams into reality. So if you're ready to take it to the next level, hit that join button right now.
All right, I'm excited about today's show. Again, I'm going to take a break on Thursday. Thursday is Boxing Day, so we're not going to do a show on Boxing Day. It's family time. We'll be back, I think, let me see some dates, because again, the schedule with these, like over holidays, is tricky, because I do three shows a week, right? So let's see the calendar. Tuesday's New Year's Eve, so we're not going to do a show on New Year's Eve, but we will do a show on the 1st. Obviously, Boxing Day, no show, the 26th. I'll be back Sunday for a show on the 29th. And then for the photo reviews, the next time we'll do a photo review show will be the portfolio reviews on Thursday the 2nd. So at the end of the day, today, at the end of the episode, I will spin the wheel. So no show on Tuesday. Let me just mark that for y'all. No show on Tuesday the 31st. And we will be back on Thursday the 2nd. And of course, on Thursday the 2nd is going to be the first show of the new year. And also, speaking of the new year, we do the Photo of the Year Awards. The Photo of the Year Awards is sick. It's basically everybody who submitted this year in 2024 and won Photo of the Week, which means you who won Best in Show. If you won Photo of the Week at any point this year, that means you qualify for the Photo of the Year Awards. The Photo of the Year Awards is a special show that I do early on in the new year. It'll probably be in and around. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's going to be hard for me to put this show together in time for Tuesday because it's New Year's Eve, but it'll be in the very first week or so of the new year. We are going to drop the Photo of the Year Awards, and it is a fun show. Make sure that you come and hang out. Over the last couple of days, I got a little bit of a cold. I'm doing my best to tamp it down. It was the worst yesterday. I think I've been taking oil of oregano, and it just tamps that shit down. So I'm almost back to my 100% self. But if you hear a little bit in my voice, and if I cough or sneeze, it is because I am a little bit sick. All right, let's get to our first photo. It is the mighty Jennifer Grace. Jennifer says, "Hey, Carty, I know his elbow's pretty close to the edge of the frame, but I'm wondering if you think this is portfolio worthy regardless. This is a photo I shot last week during a headshot session with a DJ. I had about 15 minutes to capture some photos. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to learning how I can improve this next time. Thank you for all you do, and Merry Christmas to you and yours." Merry Christmas to you, Jennifer Grace. Let's look at what you're shooting with. Shot with the EOS R and a 50mm, ISO 200 to 250 of a second at 5.6. This is a 2-light setup, but I think I turned the hair light off for this frame. Guys, this is Jennifer Grace. Jennifer, let's get it on, Jennifer. This is a vibe. I mean, yes, this hand, you were asking if this hand is too close to the edge of the frame. This hand here, for me, I'm a bit more concerned with his elbow. I mean, I don't mind this picture at all. He's got the right setup with the Serato, and the light is good. The light's good on his face. It feels, I mean, it might be a little bit orange. Wait. Oh yeah, no, that's just me. I'm going to keep doing that joke every time I wear a pair of colored sunglasses. I love what he's wearing, the black on black. I mean, he's a handsome dude. Should this go in your portfolio? Yes, for sure. I want you to always be watching your centering, centering this here. You can see how you're cutting it off here. Watch your elbows. But the light on his face and the exposure, Jennifer, is top. This is yes, 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 yes. I'm giving you love here. Your focus. And again, this is also proving that you can get great work with the EOS R if you're shooting it properly and if you're exposing it properly. Let's go back to Jennifer's settings. ISO 200, a 250th of a second at 5.6. She's not shooting wide open. She's not shooting at f2. And the exposure is right. So, Jennifer, I'm giving you all the accolades and all the love here for this picture. This is aces. And yeah, it should go in your book. I want you to be even more anal. And again, I hope that you have my accelerator workbook and are starting to get into the process of being in my accelerator for the next round. Is going to change your life for sure. Anybody who's jumping in my next round of the accelerator, I'm very excited about where we're going to be going, Jennifer Grace, because this is the beginning of something. Make sure with your, again, your light is still a little simple. That obviously I can only see one light in this frame, but I'm going to help you develop your light. Your placement is pretty good with this frame. It is safe. We'll call this safe light because, again, your light placement, if this is your background and this is your subject and this is the table in front with the Serato, Jennifer is here, camera position, you're on the right axis, which is great, but your light position is literally just off camera. you can touch your light. It's so close. So because you prefer to light to the left, for me, I light to the right. But again, this is all personal preference. If you look at any of my photos, you'll see it's always shadow on the left side of on the left side of frame. Light always coming from the right, unless it is a natural light picture, or unless the room is set up in such a way that I can't light from that side. So what I would like to see for you, just to get a little bit more Rembrandt lighting, a little pocket of light in this nose shadow joining this other side of his face. Like the shadow comes down here, and then it comes down here, and then this side of his face is in shade or shadow, but you have that little pocket of light. That nose shadow, what we're trying to do is get that nose shadow to join the shadow that's going to now come here, because you're moving your light more around this way. So again, drawing that diagram, there's him, here's the table in front of him, here's Jennifer's camera. I want your light. And again, what you do, how you do it, is you look at his nose, and then you look at that back eye, and you literally physically stand, and you keep standing, and you move this way, and you have him not look at you as you're doing this, but look at camera. And then you stand at the place where you can just see this back eye, and then you drop your light there. And then now you stand behind your light stand, and you look, and you make sure that you can see just that back eye. And then that back eye, when you now go back to camera position, you'll see that you have perfect Rembrandt lighting based on that placement and based on his face. And if the light shadow, if it's too much this way, that means you need to sky the light. If it's too much this way, that means you need to lower the light, because light travels in a straight line. So you just follow the nose shadow. All right. Did you take all of that in? Was that too much for you? Other than that, Jennifer, I'm giving you an 11. This is a banger. Again, when it comes to light, you need to be able to look at any photo and break down the light. You have to be able to do that. I can do that with any photo. And it doesn't have to be one light. It can be one light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 10 lights. I can tell you that, like what normal is. And then this light is 1/3 of a stop over. This light is 1/2 a stop over. The hair light is 2/10 of a stop over. The background light is 1 stop over. Like, I can just do that because of experience, understanding ratios, and understanding how to see light. In order to make light, in order to light a scene, a subject, anything, what your niche is, you have to be able to see light. And seeing light is really the beginning of understanding lighting. So this is why these breakdowns, when I do like the breakdowns, like you might be like, how does he know? It's like he was in the studio with me. How does he know exactly where I placed the light? It's like experience. I know how far he is from the background. By the way, right here, he's like 2 feet from the background based on how close the shadow is to his body and blah, 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 blah. So, but guess what, Jennifer? You crushed. So in case that wasn't clear. Well done, Jennifer. Well done. Are you guys with me still? You having a good time? It's all about good vibes here. I'm trying to, that's what the sign says right there. It says good vibes. We're trying to be good vibes for you. All right. Our next shooter is Stephen Bourdeau. Now, Stephen wrote a gosh darn novel here, literally 4 paragraphs. So, but I'm going to read it because I miss you, Steve. Boy, does it feel good to get behind a camera again. This is a conceptual image I wish I had made for the assignment a few weeks ago. I'm still working on reaching out to new people after moving to Jacksonville, Florida. I ended up doing a self-portrait. I'm not sure if it fits in my portfolio. Paragraph 2, shedding some light on the darker side of my life for this one, pun intended. 2024 has been a year of loss for me. As a result, mental health, acknowledging my own, has come to the forefront of my mind, and I have a lot of work to do. I've lost 3 brothers in arms this year from earlier on in my naval career within a few months of each other. 2 to self-harm, and the other was a freak phenomenon I still haven't heard an answer on. This image illustrates my struggle with survivor's guilt after all this loss. The hand on my shoulder is also mine, and it conveys the message that they are reaching out to me from beyond to comfort me while I grieve, as if to tell me they aren't hurting anymore and they are okay now. The black on the fingers is them feeling the pain I'm in while I miss them and grieve over their passing, and drawing away that pain from me as they try to help me heal. I realize that making these kinds of photos, especially in self-portrait form, can make you feel super vulnerable, but the act of making these images and sharing them is really a form of therapy for me. The battle with our mental health is a never-ending battle. We need to acknowledge it and face it head on and win with non-destructive habits. Well said, Steve. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate you. Steve shot this with the EOS R6 Mark II, an EF 50mm 1.8, and ISO 100 250th of a second at f/18. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve Bordeaux. Steve, welcome back, my guy. Appreciate you. There's a lot in this frame, and thanks for sharing. For me, like, the thing that I'm missing is the light quality. The light quality, just because the light is relatively high. I mean, obviously, if we draw, like, your light is up here. So what that's doing, because your face is turned away, we're actually losing quite a bit of the exposure in your face. I mean, we're getting your body, but we're losing kind of part of your fingers because this shot is just begging for some sort of rim light coming in from the second side. You can also see, because of this top light, we're losing this second foot, we're losing this half of your leg. And again, it's because the exposure on this light, and with this being a relatively dark background, you probably have a grid on your softbox so there's no fall off. You can see, because of that is giving us just infinite black back here, which is cool for some effects, but we also need a smaller source with a grid back here, giving us that separation, giving us that extra little bit of zhuzh, so it actually goes light, dark, and then light again. Like, that gets polished. That's that little bit of, like, oomph that we put on top of our photos. Losing everything that's not lit here now makes it look like your nose is kind of floating. And again, there's such meaning in this picture, but when you're trying to do that, like, silhouette face, it has to be done really specific, and it's much harder when you're also the subject to also be posing. So in order to really craft the light that you're trying to get, I think that comes from, I mean, I'm going to show you, let me see if I can quickly find this example. And again, this isn't like I'm trying to compare, but I want to show you when you, how you call it, like, compound the light a little bit more and add extra elements. Let me show you this frame. So I did this frame sort of through COVID, and like I probably did this frame in 2022-ish, but like I really built up this picture and really crafted this picture with light. I was using a a mini, like a little square LED that just happened to be the same size as my phone. So I had that LED on the inside of my phone, and I'm holding it with like my inside finger, and that LED is actually lighting my face. Like, you can't make your phone screen that bright. And then it's like, well, I need rear light, and that rear light from back here obviously lights the atmosphere, but gives that separation that you see back here and separates me from the back. And it also gives some atmosphere in the background. And then I pumped the smoke machine to push some smoke and like more atmosphere. And then the backlight here is again giving me some separation here and giving you something else to look at, because you can see it's literally at my live stream at my old apartment in my old setup. So what I want you to be thinking when you're shooting yours is how far, where's your picture, Steve, is how far you can go. Here we go. How far you're going with light. And again, you haven't been behind the camera for a bit. I know that you've been going through some stuff, and thank you for sharing. My mom passed away the last day of November at 86. So I know that, like, the pain and the drama, and especially around the holidays, like, it's super hard. So I'm here for you, my guy, if you want to talk. I think when it comes to crafting these pictures, when you're building it yourself, like, you really need help from an assistant, help from like your partner, your girlfriend, your wife, your friend, someone to come in there and not only be there for you while you make this picture, but like help you set up the lights, help you prop, like help you do all of these things. And it looks like, I mean, if that is also your hand, like, you managed to do so much on the post side. I just want to make sure that, and by the way, this part is done, because clearly this looks like it's your arm based on the same hair and hair color and hands and everything. So this being is excellently done. So Steve, I'm giving you love. The only part where you're missing is I need you to do more reps and more often so we can push that light up. And now that you're in a new place, I would like, again, accelerator, Steve. It's time. It's time. You know what I mean? It's time. So, yeah, get your ass. There's no wait list anymore. There's a registration. You get the workbook and finish the workbook and get it into me by January the 4th. There is a full 90 or 2-hour episode talking about the next round of the accelerator. It's like an info session that I just made public. It's been only available for people who registered and blah, blah, blah. But people who are registered with the Carty method they get first access to this workbook, but now I've made it a little bit more public. So if you watching at home are interested in my accelerator, find that podcast, and it has me holding my hand up like this, and you see Pro Accelerator. You can't miss it. All right, guys, that was Stephen Bourdeau. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate you. And by the way, Steve has wings because he hit the join button a year ago. Let's go, Steve. If you see Steve's name in chat, you'll see Steve actually has wings next to his name. Look at that, Steven. Well played, buddy. All right. That's what happens. Like, when you become a member, you get a crown next to your name, and you start with a little crown, and then it's a big crown, and it's a bigger crown, then it's like a king crown, and then after a year, you get wings. And then after 2 years, something else happens, but you have to find out. All right. Our next shooter is Robert Myrick. Robert says, "Hey, Carty and crew, this image is from a recent boudoir shoot with a local model. We used an Airbnb rental for a location and kept lighting simple because of lack of space. After some slight updates and thanks to input from peer reviews, I submit it for your thoughts. My sincere gratitude for the work that you do for us." You're very welcome, Robert. Sony A7R5 Sigma 24-70 art lens, which is a 2.8, shot at 40 millimeter, ISO 100, 1/60th of a second at 2.8, using a Godox in a Westcott 26-inch octabox. Robert, you need to look into getting a 50 millimeter for your Sony. Just get a clean 50 1.8 and you'll be rocking. All right, this is Robert Myrick. Robert, thanks for submitting. Robert, there's a vibe here for sure. And again, I'm still trying to understand your photography and your niche and what it is that you do. You can help me by, when you do your next submission, explain to me what your niche is, what your goals are for professional photography. Let's look at this a little bit closer. Let's first look at it as a cover. You can see it has a vibe. It has a vibe. I mean, her body language for me is just a little odd because she's not pulling her stomach in. She's like kind of leaning with her shoulders, but it's just like, it's not a position that I would put her in, because again, it becomes very knee heavy and like not like you're not seeing her body as much as you're seeing like these kind of cutoffs. So again, this is a scenario where I would have her standing, or I would have her seated with her legs up that way. But again, you wouldn't really sit in an outfit like that. So the whole point where she's down low, I would have tried to elongate her and have her up. And personally, it's not necessary to show her full length, so I would have cut her mid-thigh so you don't see the shoes and you can be a little bit closer to her. And then because she's standing, she can engage her core, which is not like, again, when a woman crouches down, it's really hard to have this area unless she's tight like a tiger. And yeah, it's like, this girl's not. So again, for me, it has like a bit of an OnlyFans kind of a feeling, Robert. And again, I'm not sure what it is that you shoot. So it's like, if you're trying to shoot fashion, well, fashion has to be shot a certain way. If you're trying to shoot boudoir, which is what you've said that you're shooting, boudoir also has to be shot, I believe, like in an empowering way. So again, it's like, there's poses and all of this. Like, again, I'm not even sure, like I can't show you on the air the type of boudoir photography that you need to be looking at. But I will say really quickly, look at the work of Anna Diaz. It's all I can do is do this. Look at the work of Anna Diaz is all I can say. Now, when you look at Anna Diaz, you will be like, oh my God. And I'm talking the girls, the shots, the ideas. She is a female photographer from Brazil. And again, I cannot show you this. Okay, I can't. By the way, CJ Film, thanks for subscribing. I can't show you Anna Diaz. I can give you just this. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, like, her work, and this is a female photographer, her work is bananas. Like, the whole term boudoir, and as a male photographer, if you were a female, I'd be like, you can kill it with boudoir. As a male photographer, it just becomes like there's such a line, and you need to know that line. You need to know that line, and it's like, it's so quickly tacky. It's so quickly like not like you have to be like delicate with this type of work. And again, I can see like you're caring enough to rent an Airbnb, and you have light, and like you're really wanting to be better. But I feel like where we're missing is like your reference material. Like your reference material needs to go way up. Your wife and you do boudoir as a team. Okay. Well, if your wife and you do boudoir as a team, your wife and you need to level up the kind of work that you're creating. And that comes from what you're looking at. If you're just looking at other photographers in your area and what they're doing, you're not aiming high enough. You need to be looking at what's happening in Paris and what's happening in Italy, and also be more, I know that you're going to show the photos of the people who hire you to do this, right? So it becomes like your gene pool of who you're choosing is limited to who hires you. My suggestion, find a model, do a free shoot for her, like a model, and then execute the ultimate like $5,000 experience for her for free, like a real model. And when I say model, a model is not 5'6" and a size 8. Like a model is 5'10" and a size 2. So the difference, and this is why I say, look at Anna Diaz's work. Like if you come in like shooting only the most ridiculous girls, and that's your portfolio, well then girls like this, obviously they're going to hire you, and also they'll pay you more because they wish that they looked like the girls that are in your portfolio. Right now, your portfolio is the girls that hire you. So you're now using clients as your portfolio, which only works if the girls that are hiring you, the women that are hiring you, are like 11s. That's the only way it works. And again, we're talking, this girl is girlfriend cute, but she's not model cute. So you need to get people who are like, and again, these are the shoots that you do for free. You do these shoots for free. You find these girls and you're like, hey, I'm a photographer. My husband, my wife and I work as a boudoir team. Have you ever done boudoir before? Because your body and your face and your height match the body style that you're looking for your portfolio. So you can see the difference when you look at the pictures of the girls that I show in my book. Like when I'm shooting something that shows skin, or when I'm shooting something that shows like some sort of fashion, there has to be a body style that, I mean, this girl's a musician, so it doesn't really count. But when you're shooting people as models, they have to be fit. They have to be the part. Like this is an agency girl. So when you're shooting people as models, they have to have that body. They have to, because it makes your work look better. So Robert, you need to find killers, like killers. And you can find these people on the street, but when you now have killers in your portfolio, now it becomes like the people who are not quite at that level yet, believe you me, they'll hire you. And again, for me, I'm a people photographer, so I can mix fashion or style-ish pictures of celebrities. I can also mix like my fashion sensibility on, this is Michael Sheen, again, celebrities. I can put my street style sensibility and my color composition and my understanding of location, the late DMX. So like, I'm trying to help you become rounded. But what I'm talking about when it comes to models, like who you select to be in your portfolio need to be fucking crazy. Like, this is like something that you need to note. The girls that you select that are representing what you can do, they need to be crazy. When you have girls like that in your portfolio, it's pretty easy to shoot girls who look like this. And again, I'm not dissing this girl, but I'm talking to you, professional to professional. If you're a people shooter, you are only as good as the people that you show in your portfolio. I'm going to say that again. You're only as good as the people who you show in your book. So when you go to your book, and again, choosing to be a fashion photographer, but not living in Paris, Milan, New York, London, like, it becomes like, this is Wade Hudson. Wade was my assistant for 2 years. Wade came to me when he was 17 years old. And Wade's photos are preposterous. Like, this is one of my old assistants. So you have to understand, like, look at the model, Robert. Look at his portfolio. Look at the fashion. Look at the styling. Look at the locations. So it's like, you really have to like go really, really high. Corey Vanderplu, again, one of my past assistants. This is Christian Bale. Corey assisted me for 2 years. And you can see Corey, this is Corey's wife, Candace. But the quality, this is The Weeknd. The quality of people in your portfolio is a direct reflection of you as the creator. You have to curate who you show. And again, there is nothing wrong with body positivity. There's nothing wrong with body. And again, that's important. But if you look at the selection of photos that Corey shows, Corey mixes that in with also the unattainable. So as you can see right here. So there has to be a method to the madness of creating a portfolio and having desirable, unattainable people. Models are not, but just unique characters is what we're trying to put together. So what I want you to be noticing is style, the way that all of these photographers shoot, the way that they crop, the way that they light, and the way that you see repetition in style over and over again. So that is what makes you a photographer. I hope that's a little bit inspiring for you. So that, my friends, is Robert Myrick. Robert, I hope that brought you value. By the way, if you're new, I'm Carty. This is the Carty method, and you can see, I don't fuck around. Sorry. Just tell it like it is. Our next shooter is Matt Carlson. Matt says, one of my colleagues collects vintage outfits. For this occasion, he put on a work jacket once used by Swedish prisoners. We found an old house close to work for the photo shoot. Merry Christmas to y'all. Shot with the Canon EOS R6 with a 50mm 1.2. Shot with an EF 50mm 1.2, adapted the way that I do it. I have an EF 50mm 1.2, and I use the EF to RF adapter with the control ring, and it is bananas. There's no difference between, there's no difference in image quality. Although, you know, RF glass is quieter, a little shorter, you know, less lens breathe. Like, there's so many reasons to get RF lenses. Like, don't get me wrong. But don't let the fact like you're trying to go from DSLR to mirrorless, like, oh my God, I have to buy all new lenses. It's like, no, you just buy one adapter, you keep it on your body, and then you just switch your lenses as if they're regular lenses. That's what you do. That's what I do. I only have 2 EF lenses, funny enough. I only have 2 EF lenses. That one right here, this one is a 16 millimeter on an R50, Canon R50, and this one is a 16 millimeter RF lens on a Canon R50. I have 2 R50s, so I have 3 mirrorless cameras, but these ones I use just for making videos. All right, Mats Carlson, I'm excited about this. Show off the RS, or the R6. 50 millimeter 1.2, shot at ISO 200, 125 at f5. This is the mighty Mats Carlson. Mats, I like this. There's a vibe here. There's definitely a vibe here. It crops well. I don't even need to drop the overlay to tell you that it crops well. For me, it's about your approach. I would have rotated, and watch this. I would have rotated, meaning everything. Him, check. His pose, check. His body language, check. His distance from here, check. Everything is absolute, even your exposure, check. Okay? This is where I'm going to break your brain. Where you're standing, okay? Because I'm going to draw this. This is an overview. The wall is here. The window is here. He is here. Okay? But you are standing here. And because you're standing here, you're hitting him straight on, but you're skimming the wall. And because you're skimming the wall, guess what? This line is not straight. This line is not straight, and this horizon line is all weird, and this line is not straight. Like, you tried to maintain this straight line, but you can see even this line against the edge isn't straight. So because of where you're standing, again, I'm going to break your brain, Mats. Because of where you're standing, this is the wall. This is your subject, this is your window, and you're standing here. If you stood here and framed your gentleman and framed your window and hit this wall 100% perpendicular with your 50 millimeter, then this line and this line would also be 100% straight, because then they would run like this and like this. Yes or yes. So that is how, and also up here, this line and this line, because you have a 50 millimeter, would also be incredibly straight. So this is the kind of like insanity that I deal with on a day-to-day basis when it comes to looking at photography. I even know where you were standing, Mats. So in this case, it is literally this is where you are. You step here and you step here, and then you reorient yourself, because now you're hitting this wall at 100% perpendicular, and then you have the same framing, the same everything, and Bob's your uncle. I'm giving you love because truly you look at the composition and how disciplined this composition is with your shoulders. I mean, your subject's shoulders between the frame, with his head here, hands. And again, you can see this hand is a little bit lower than this hand because he has this thumb in his pocket, but that thumb in his pocket with his hand closed looks awkward. And then he's also hiding his thumb, like he's putting his thumb inside his hand, which is another weird thing. So he needs to either put his hands directly in the pockets or have his hands open a little bit more naturally. Again, we have to look this far when we're shooting. We do have to look at the hands and see what our subjects are doing. A steamer, which you can get on Amazon for a very low amount of money, a steamer, just running a quick steamer over this jacket would have made this look like an actual old picture and not like he just pulled this jacket out of a bag, because it's quite crinkled. So again, when you're going this far to go this far, I'm gonna show you a secret. This is what, if you're a shooter and you don't have this, this is just a secret. And again, I'll make a Amazon affiliate link. But this is what I have. We have 2 of these, okay? We have 2 of these because my girlfriend has the exact same one. This steamer is $35, okay, Canadian. So it's probably less in the US or the country that you're in. But this steamer is so small and folds. Guys hate ironing, but you put the thing on a hanger and hang it up and literally run this steamer over it. It heats, it starts steaming instantly, and your shirt, your jacket, your whatever looks fresh to death in 8.5 seconds. Like literally in less than 3 minutes, that jacket would have been like fresh to death and totally ready. The Sony 51.8, I would call it, Sony makes good gear. I mean, again, if you can afford to get the art lens, then get the art lens. But shooting with a 24-70 has 28 elements. Shooting with a 50, it has 6 elements, max 10. So 26 elements of glass for the light to go through, and f4, or 6 elements to go through at 1.8. And I mean, you don't really need to shoot at 1.8 because it's too shallow with the depth of field. But that lens at f2.8 is crazy town. And a low quality budget 50 millimeter will be sharper at f4 than your 24-70 at any aperture. So buy this steamer, Mr. Mats Carlson, and anybody who's watching right now, you got to have a steamer. And you can see it says right here, you bought a variation of this one other time, which tells you I'm not lying. And we actually have 2 of these. So you got to have a steamer. Seriously, you got to have a steamer. Just like have it in your camera bag. Just have it. And that's what, like, anything you're going to shoot, steam it. Because if you see the wrinkle, if it's like, that's wrinkled, it's going to look like shit on camera, because your camera sees more than your eye sees. More. And you can't retouch wrinkles on texture, on like, you can't retouch wrinkles and make it look seamless. It just ends up looking like a plastic shirt. So just get a steamer. It's what every single stylist has. They have hundreds of these. So steamer. If you're shooting without a stylist, have a steamer on, like, in your camera bag. All right, that's a no-brainer. All right, so back to Mats Carlson. Mats, this is a yes for me. I'm giving you that one little tip that would take this to the next level. And also watch your contrast. The pants are black, but they're a little gray. This is black detail in here, or darker detail, but it feels a little gray. I want you to just up your blacks just a bit until we lose detail here in the tie, until we lose detail here in the pants. Those are small things, but I hope that helps you greatly, Mats Carlson. This is an 11 for me, Mats. But again, there's no such thing as perfect. We can always improve, always. Always. All right, I got to wrap this up. I mean, I'm just kidding. We got to go faster is what I'm saying. All right, this is Marco Nueves. Marco says, here I go with my infamous speed light. I promise new strobes are on the way before the year ends. You have 7 days. Inspired by Christmas lights and the immense pressure society places on us to appear happy during this season, I created this double spread image to capture a cozy, intimate moment that reflects my own experience of Christmas. Being 8,000 kilometers away from home, the holidays, did I skip somebody? I skipped Raphael. I'm going to finish. Let me finish Marco and then remind me to go back to Raphael. Thanks, Amand. So being 8,000 kilometers away from home, the holidays can feel truly lonely. So, it's like can feel truly lonely. I'm embracing my quiet truth, the intimate solitude, and leaning on my pets often helps the blues fade away. It's not sadness, but a silent prayer for those we miss the most. This shot comes from the heart. Shot on the 11th of December, 2024, at home. Shot with the EOS R at 85 mil, or with an EF 85 millimeter, ISO 400, 1/25th of a second f4. Shot with a 600 EX at 116 power with a snoot and a honeycomb. You are modifying the hell out of these speed lights. I can't wait until you have real lights. Using dollar store cord lights as well, a lamp and a few crystal glasses. This is Marco Nueves. Marco, this is a vibe, Marco. I'm definitely feeling this image. I like what you did with the light. The color balance is mixed, but you managed to have pretty good skin tone on you. Let's look at this as a double page spread. Compositionally really strong. I mean, yes, you can see you could afford to move over just a touch in the frame because you are composing yourself on the thirds. You can see here, I can draw thirds down here. So you are putting yourself on the thirds, which does bias you too close to the center of the gutter, as you can see here. But that aside, this is a vibe for me, Marco. I definitely am feeling the idea. I'm feeling the fact that you're 8,000 kilometers from home. I'm feeling the vibe. I just want you to watch the color balance because, again, your skin is looking a little yellow. I'm imagining that you're wearing gray, but that's also feeling a little yellow. The hat is feeling a little yellow. So again, I would love to see, again, it's because you're mixing light. You're snooting this. This is daylight, but everything else is tungsten. So you have to make sure that this daylight really comes out at the right color balance. For me, this is a vibe, though. I like it. I'm giving you the smoke and an 11. Very well executed. Again, remember these self-portraits. We can only use self-portraits for, like, we can only submit self-portraits for so long. Understand that your portfolio can't be made up of all self-portraits. It just can't. So work on being resourceful and finding subjects in order so you can be behind the camera, not behind the camera and in front of the camera. You know what I mean? It makes your job 10 times harder when you're also the sitter. It makes the assignments harder. But if you have a roster of people that you can call on to execute these assignments, those people become the people who build your portfolio. Yeah, I managed to... Like, I would be in front of the camera for other photographers if they wanted to take pictures of me for their book, but I would rarely set up something for me to sit in front of the camera. What I would do is I would sit in front of the camera and have my assistant take a picture of me in that set that I was building for someone else. So I'd always have lots of pictures of myself because I was like shot 0 or shot 1 or whatever, you know, like test shot on me. I have a selfie. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it. I'd never shoot them myself. It would always be an assistant knocking them off. So I hope that helps you. That is Marco Nueves. Marco, thanks for submitting, Marco. All right, let's go into Rafael Ortiz. Rafael says, hey, Carty crew. This is another pic of my friend helping me out to test my new lens. Shot this November 10th. In studio with the Nikon D850, a Sigma 85mm 1.4 art lens, ISO 80, 1,000th of a second at f4. How are you shooting flash at 1,000th of a second? You're not supposed to shoot flash at 1,000th of a second, Raphael. You're supposed to shoot flash at like no more than 2/50th of a second. So I want you to be thinking like, you're not trying to freeze anything when you shoot flash. The flash freezes it. When you're shooting at 1,000th of a second, you're not giving your camera sensor long enough for like the light to like just don't do that. And I don't know how you're doing it because flash syncs at certain speed, unless you're doing some sort of high sync bullshit, which I want you to stop, please. I don't know what the Godox AD600BM is. I do not know what it is. And please understand, I don't know model numbers like that. Like, I don't have the brain capacity to know model, say with a studio strobe, that with what, tell me the watt seconds, like that's all that matters, or with a on-camera flash, off-camera setup like a studio strobe. Like, tell me that stuff, because the Godox model numbers, I don't know what that is. So, but you got to stop shooting at 1,000th of a second. Like, please, like 1,000th of a second is not a thing. I shoot in the studio at 125, at 1/25th of a second, because the flash freezes it. All right. One Glow Easy Lock 42 Beauty Silver Dish with double diffusion. Okay, gray again, all of this stuff, Raphael, it's not relevant. Just say you shot with a 42-inch beauty dish with diffusion. Like, the brand of it, I don't care. I don't care. The photo looks fine on my PC. When I upload it later, swirls appear on the right side of the hat. Okay. When I don't see the swirls that you're talking about, guys, this is Raphael Ortiz. Raphael, there's an underexposure thing that's happening in your frame, and there's a processing thing that you're doing that is kind of hurting your picture. So I think that you think that this is properly exposed, but it's under. And I can tell that it's under because of the grain structure. And shooting at 1,000th of a second at ISO 80, like, you need to be shooting at 1/25th. That's giving your camera, like, that's like 4 more stops of exposure. So I'm not sure what you're doing with your settings, but it's hurting your files. So I would like to maybe have Garan work with you to talk about what you're doing to your files. Whenever there's hands in the picture, you always have to check the hands. Looking at this girl's nails, it looks like she needed to have her nails redone like literally 2 weeks ago by how much grow out there is there. Do not think that people don't notice that. Like, people definitely notice that. In this case, if this was what this girl's nails look like, you can't have her hands in the picture. I do know that you're trying to show the Believe tattoo. I got that, but there's an overall yellow-green tinge to this picture. It's not color balanced accurately. Also, the K is flipped, so it looks backwards because, like, her necklace or whatever, it wasn't adjusted. There's I don't. There's a lot of details in this picture, Raphael, that I think are missing. The idea is there. But you have to be very aware of, like, this girl is short. I can tell that she's short by the distance of her arms right here. So when you're practicing on the same girl over and over and over again, but she's not that high quality model that I talked about earlier, it just ends up hurting in the long run. So my suggestion, find some more people to shoot. I like the idea. There's an idea here. There's good color theory here, but the overall picture is green yellow. So I need you to really work on, like, who you're shooting. Look at how close the hat is here versus how far it is here. And again, the nails are making me angry. So if she's shooting with you, make sure she has a manicure the day before, so you're not getting this kind of grow out. And again, you have to know fashion enough to be like, let me see your hands. Okay, your nail color, what's going on there? The nails, they're too long. They're like, there's just all of this stuff that like, it's delicate. And when you're not in New York, Paris, London, Milan, like Toronto, like that kind of fashion, you like, you don't know and she doesn't know. So you're okay with it because you don't know how important these small details are. And then when you put that work in your portfolio, your clients who do know it, they see it and they're like, you know what I mean? And then you just don't get hired, but you don't know why. So for me, it's a good idea. I would execute this again. I would just execute this again with a different girl. Sorry, I'm not showing it. I would just execute this again with a different girl. Really work on the color balance. With these kinds of pictures where you have nothing white, you need a gray card. You need a gray card to be able to balance the color. And if you've made this background a different color, if you've made the shirt a different color, if you've made a hat a different color, if you did all of this in post, again, it's all, whatever you're doing in post is hurting. So I want you to work on a little bit of post-production stuff if that helps. All right, guys, that is Rafael Ortiz. And again, Rafael, I'm still trying to define what it is that you shoot. What is it that you shoot? Are you a people shooter? Because I'm seeing so many different types of photography. I want you to kind of narrow what it is that you do. And when it comes to my submissions, narrow what it is that you do. All right, that's Rafael Ortiz. Damian Moss, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. All right, let's get into Ian Martin. Ian says this is from a recent client shoot where they requested square format, and I'm recomposing them from a portfolio. This is a GFX 100 S2 with a GF 100mm f2. He's shooting with that's the 100 megapixel Fuji, I think. ISO 3200, a little high in the ISO. 1/70th of a second at f2, natural light. Let's have a look at this supercar from Ian Martin. Ian, thanks for submitting. So they needed a square is what they asked you for, and this is how you shot it. I want you to look at this as a double page spread and how this doesn't really work as a double page spread. If the ask was they wanted to see the ass of the car, I definitely get that. But for me, there's so many other lines and so many different angles. Like, I appreciate like being behind the car, but it's placed in the right place. You can see even a vertical. Show me my vertical frame, please. There it is. Let's see what this looks like as a vertical. If I wanted this to be a vertical, like that to me is stronger than the way that you held your camera horizontal and framed that picture. Like, this picture had the potential to be a car cover, but you can see it's very claustrophobically close here and here once you make it a vertical. And really a square is just now taking this, right? Like, that's the square, but you can see how much of my sensor that I'm cropping out. So holding the camera vertically and making, like, shooting a vertical picture and then making the vertical a square. I feel like that would have been smarter money, because then you have it as a cover, a vertical full shot cover, and you have it as a square. Here, you only have it as a square because you don't, and where does a square go in your portfolio? Squares don't work in your portfolio because portfolios are vertical. Magazines are vertical. Covers are vertical. And then when you shoot horizontal, it's a double page. And you can see what this looks like as a double page. And there's no way to, like, you can't really crop this to make it so it makes sense, unless, like, you can see it doesn't crop right. Because, like, where are you going to crop the car? The best place to crop the car is down the doors, but you have to shoot the car for a double page and see both sides of the car if you want to do it that way. So for me, this is one of those shots where it's too much scene. Oops, sorry, wasn't supposed to do that. It's a little bit too much scene and not enough car.
I appreciate that you're trying to show what's happening behind, but the place that you dropped the eye line, I mean, yes, I know that you have to go low to shoot under the car, but where you drop the eye line is in a place where you have dark stuff back here, which is competing with the lines at the top of the car. Again, for me, this bush jumping out of the top of the car is also distracting. I would have come around this way and aimed in this way, or placed this car in a different spot so you're not competing so much with the background. Like right now, you're at a higher elevation. You can see you're elevated up here. So if you were on the same plane as the car, then you would be able to adjust this horizon line and place it such a way that the car goes against the sky and the horizon line is low on the car like that. These are all thoughts. For me, if the request is a square, shoot vertical, please. Because unless you are able to nail a double page spread every single time, you're going to miss any other use for that image except for the square. And this is one of those instances where you lost the whole sensor. You can see here, for me, this is the picture that I would share. I would share it that way, which is as a vertical, as a cover. That's basically how I would shoot it. Everything that's to the left or the right of the ass or the nose of that car is irrelevant. And I want you to see it that way the next time you shoot. It's okay to shoot vertical, and please look at Behance for references when it comes to car photography. There is some insane car photographers on Behance. And again, you're only going to find it if you're looking continuously at Behance daily to see what's happening. And again, this is award winning. This won an award for automotive photography here. So again, what we're doing is we're looking at these references to get inspiration as to how to shoot a horizontal. Like you can see this. And now when I show it as a horizontal, I mean, it's across 2 pages. Again, I wouldn't drop this one so far in the center, so I don't love that one. But again, that's a billboard. Again, not the best composition for me. But this is inspirational. This is what we do when we're shooting, is we look at car photography and get inspired. But for me, this is the type of photography, not the car moving, but this stuff is the stuff that you have to master. The lifestyle with the car in the right location. And again, if you look at this frames as a double very, very well. So, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I do continuously. So I hope this helps you, Mr. Ian Martin. Your photography is amazing, my guy. Again, I'm giving you love on the light and the car and you went so far. But again, I'm going to make you an absolute killer. You got to be in my accelerator, dude. Again, if you can be egoless and approach this knowing that you're none of us are Helmut Newton yet. None of us are Raymond Mayer. None of us are at that level yet. But if you keep pushing and be open to someone else's opinion other than your own, you can truly be an insane photographer. The reason that I consider myself pretty okay is because I worked with some of the best art directors that you could imagine. And these art directors have pushed me into realms that it's I never thought I could ever be seen in the way that I'm seen now. But because art directors just kick my ass, and I'd send a picture and they'd be like, no, rip it. I told you, I told that story. Art directors ripping up my pictures and throwing them back at me and saying, it's 2:30. You have until 6 or this isn't running and you don't get paid. I have to shoot it again. Do you understand? I have to shoot it again on film develop the film, dry the film, print the film, and dry the prints, process the prints, dry the prints, and fly it to the office before 6 o'clock at 4 hours. Like that kind of pressure. So, Ian, you're on your way, because I got to tell you, like Sean Thomas, I've turned that guy into an assassin. Auto Lux Imagery, and you're coming to me further ahead than he was when he came to me. So I'm giving you love. But again, just don't fuck around with the composition. Be insane with it. Seriously. All right. That is the one they call Ian Martin. Ian, thanks for submitting. All right. This is Taylor Valentine. Taylor says some Van Dessel. Same Van Dessel cross bike, this time shot in a tunnel that runs under a highway connecting two trail systems. Lighting with a white LED panel on bike running lights. Think getting closer to nailing the technical end of this shot, but I'm unsure on how much background to include. Z6 Mark II, 40mm f2, ISO 100, f8 or f8 at 8 seconds. All right, he liked 8s that one. This is Taylor Valentine. Taylor, thanks for submitting, buddy. You're not sure how much of the bike to include. Let's look at your framing. For me, this is getting closer. But the bike is on the wrong side. So our eye leads like left to right, right? So we're seeing this, which essentially is now going to be copy before we see the bike. Now, if the bike is here, wheel, blah, 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 bike, and now you have the same leading line, now you naturally want to see where the bike's going. And that would be on the other page with the copy. You follow me? So in this case, I get what you're saying. You can see here, this shadow, the uplight on this shadow is really making it so we're losing the seat because your light is placed down here. Your light's down here aiming upwards, which is putting the shadow above the bike, which is now what we're trying to do. We're trying to light down, trying to light downwards. So the bike wheel shadow goes back here behind the bike and below the bike. So we're not seeing this Halloween double wheel, which takes us away from this. So we're still not nailing the light because you're not using a light stand. You're propping the light on a rock or whatever you have here. Your light's not on a stand up here that you can adjust perfectly to the exact height you want. So you can place and push your shadows down out of the frame, which is what you want to do. So, all that to say, close, but claustrophobically close. Here with the levers, this upper shadow makes this seat feel close. The tire is a little close. Though again, this shot, the bike is back here. And again, what are you selling? That is my question, and it should be your question. What are you selling? What are you selling? Are you selling the journey? If you're selling the journey, the bike needs to be back here because this is going to be the past, like what's behind him, what happened yesterday, because you have the bike in front and there's no future because you're cutting that future off with that edge of the frame. But if it's Van Dessel, the Van Dessel logo needs to be right here, which is what we'll see first as our eye moves through the frame left to right. Yes or yes? And if it's the lifestyle, then the lifestyle needs to be more apparent than in this tunnel. I mean, I do like the tail light pushing this light. That's cool. I do like the headlight pushing that light in there. That's cool. But we're still not there because I don't know what the message is. What's the message? What are you selling? What's happening here? It's not easily like I see exactly what's happening. Like, and again, when you're shooting advertising, because this is what this is, it's essentially advertising. So when you're selling advertising or when you're shooting advertising, you have to know instantly what you're selling. Like what is that thing that I'm supposed to grab within this frame, especially with bikes. Like with a bike, you can see here, the bike is a prop. So the bike is just part of this lifestyle that like the bike matches the yellow line that I very strategically ran between his legs. But when, where's another example? Like there always has to be context. Canada Goose, mountains, snow, evergreen trees. Like the location has to make sense. And for me, there has to be an understanding as to why. I'm trying to find this picture. You can see she's trying to leave. Clearly, you can see that she's trying to leave. The babysitter doesn't give a fuck. You can see. Yes? She's chilling on her phone. There's a kettle boiling over. She's not even paying attention. The mom has her phone. She's trying to leave. She also has a wedding ring, so you can see she's married and the husband's not there. And the daughter holding onto the mom's leg with all her shit everywhere. So there's no, you have to tell it all within the picture. She's a barber. That's her chair. She's telling you she's a barber because look at her cool hair and she's holding the scissors and she looks like she owns the place. Like the location has to give you that right away. That's why we shoot on location. The location has to give you that oomph. The location, or there has to be no location. I'm trying to find this motorcycle picture. So the location is part of like the location. So it fills in some blanks for us. And for me, this location, it doesn't, I don't know what you're selling. So that's what I want you to be thinking is like, if you're selling the bike bags, they're too dirty and they're too old. So you can't sell the bike bag. And again, if you're selling the bike is used and like beat up and it's your actual bike, but then you're not in the photo. So like, I'm trying to figure out, like, for me, I need you to be shooting bike accessories, or like I'm trying to define like what it is that, I know what your niche is. It's outdoor adventure. I know what your niche is, but for me, we have to get past the cross bike, or you have to shoot other people's cross bikes, newer, brand new, never been ridden cross bikes. How's that? Because again, like I'm not trying to limit you, but it's like you're making it harder. It's tricky. It's so tricky, Taylor. It's so tricky. Sometimes you hit and sometimes you miss, but you've missed on so many of these bike photos. And I'm just like, you're getting better with the lighting, but the lighting is still not there. But my point is, when you then 100% nail the lighting and the vibe with a photo of your bike, what are you selling? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because again, like, you need to know you're trying to make a transformation for one person at one place on their journey that are looking for a big transformation. And you're trying to show that you can do that transformation based on the portfolio of work that you share. Now, if that portfolio of work is all pictures of your bike or all self-portraits, you understand how you're your client. And there's only one of you. So you're the most interested in the stuff that you're shooting, and it's not appealing to the masses. I appreciate the practice and the reps and needing those reps, but you have to do the practice in those reps in a way that's applied photography. And I feel like if someone brought you a camping product and said, I need you to sell this camping product for me, like,
you two would brainstorm and come up with ideas and and then you'd shoot and you'd be like, nope, not light enough. You got to bring up the light here. Like, you would work through that process until he had the exact images that he needed. So that's the process that you need to go through for images for your portfolio. I hope that helps you. This is the one and only Taylor Valentine. Taylor, we're close, but we're not there yet. And again, when you're shooting horizontal, you need to know what side of the frame the subject should be on. In this case, with the bike pointing that way, which is how we shoot the bikes with the drivetrain out, the bike goes here. I hope that helps you. Taylor Valentine, people. All right, so we are at Joshua Haney. Joshua says, happy holidays. This one conceptual photo of the year last year, and I'm curious if it fits in my portfolio or if it fits in my personal projects. I also want to get back to the salt flats for another series of photo shoots. R6 24mm, ISO 100, 400th of a second, f11. This is the mighty Joshua Haney. Joshua, you went back here. This makes me so happy. This body of work that you've made here is really brilliant. Again, I want you to watch dropping the horizon line like exactly at the 50-50 point between the frame. It is like kind of the most simple way to do this. You have to choose either sky or flats. Choose which one of these is the most important to you and then compose it exactly that way. You can get the same effect of these salt flats if, watch this, the composition is this. Do you see the difference? Because now you've chosen the sky as the priority. And now the sky, it's a big sky, and you've pushed your subject low. Now you're putting this on a third, instead of right at the 50% mark. For me, the 50% mark is the most simple way to do it. The other, big flats, little sky. Commit to the other direction where you're showing all flats and little sky. You know, like that's literally the exact opposite where, hey, Bleezus, welcome. So you can see now when you're looking at double page spreads, if now I'm a little bit more flexible as far as where I put my horizon line, you can see how compositionally, like, you can actually really do some stuff that's mental. For me, Joshua, dropping this dead center horizontally is, it's a little easy. And then I'm seeing how the horizon line is fighting with her head. So for me, the placement of her is lower. So she's off that horizon line. So she's not so close up. And then now that you have a gap between the top of her head and the horizon line, because she's down here, then you can drop your horizon line down here and place this shadow exactly perfect. So for me, very close. It's very close, Joshua. I mean, I'm giving you all the love. Because it is truly like a magic picture. But I want you to also know I'm a mental person, and I'm going to see ways that you can make this photograph 100 times better. And I hope that you're not offended by me telling you just a couple of small things, but I do want you to notice in all the space, on all the places that you could place her, putting her head so high to the horizon seems kind of silly. Yes or yes? All right, guys, that is Joshua Haney. Thank you for submitting. All right. And again, this is why people pay me to review their photos, because I see things that you can't see. You just can't, because I'm a savant. Like, call it that. I'm Rain Man. Like 132 toothpicks. Like, yeah, I'm Rain Man when it comes to photography. Yeah, you can call me the Rain Man of photography. All right. This is Natalie Bennett. Natalie says, thinking about including this photo in my portfolio. Had a chance to have the crew look at a couple of possibilities for this week's submissions. I got some insightful feedback. This particular image was taken last month, November. Sony A7 IV 70 to 180 2.8, shot at 180. ISO 100 1/30th of a second f2.8, shot with 2 strobes. This is Natalie Bennett. Natalie, let's see if your sizing is, oh yeah, we're gonna just call this perfect. Natalie, I don't know what happened to you. I don't know what you swallowed over the weekend, but you're really starting to get it. This is definitely a great double page spread, but it could easily have been a vertical. There's no need for this to be a horizontal picture unless this is 2 pictures in a magazine. But also, let me tell you a secret. Because you shot this to perfect white, recreating this white side is very easy to do in Photoshop. This is a vertical picture though. You see that, right? Like, this is a vertical picture. There's no need for this to be a double page spread, but the fact that you showed it to me that way, what I want you to see is you're actually only using half of your sensor. The rest of your sensor isn't used at all. So in fact, if this is what you're going to do and have just a blank double page and blank on the other side with no texture or no image or no anything, then you might as well shoot vertical and then just extend the background, because then you're using more of your sensor and you're getting a higher quality image. Yes or yes? Okay, next, watch how close you are with the head here. I want you to watch the light that's hitting his face, because the exposure, your light's coming from this side. Yes. So this exposure is under by about, it's very close, Natalie. I'm calling it 0.2 of a stop under. It's very close. The light that you have here, though, I'm very impressed. I'm just going to say straight out, Natalie, this is brilliant for you. Like, you worked so hard to get to this level. This makes me really happy. You need a sweater shaver, because this guy has pills on his sweater. You guys know what pills are, right? You know what pills are? When this happens on your sweater, especially against the white, you can see that very obviously. So if someone has a pilly sweater, that's not a sweater that you shoot without having a sweater shaver, because it's just too much of a hassle. Like, yes, you can get it off the edges, but when it comes to like trying to get it off a different fabric, also this fabric is, I would never shoot him in this. He's too handsome to be in this ugly sweater. I'm sorry to say, this sweater's horrible. And also this doesn't read very well. You see this salt and pepper blue, it doesn't read on your sensor very well. So here's a secret. I'm going to tell you guys all of this. When someone opens their suitcase and pulls out the stuff that they want you to shoot, you can say like this: no, hideous, put that away. And then this is something else you can say: no patterns, no patterns. This is what I say every single time: no patterns. Why? Because of the Moire effect. What's the Moire effect? Type in MOIRE effect in Google. I'm not going to get into it, but because of the Moire effect. So no patterns. And also, patterns are trendy. I want you to do this. I want you to visualize he is wearing a black cardigan or a black sweater. Like, just pretend this sweater was black. Tell me that wouldn't hit 1,000 times harder. Because this sweater, some people will like it, some people will hate it, like me. And then what happens is this man is being judged by his poor fashion choices. Now, if he has just a plain like black sweater, now it's just understated and you see him. You don't see these crazy checkers and all that shit that's happening below his neck. Yes or yes? So I love the image. I loved your quality. I like the hat. Again, the sunglasses inside. That's another thing. Like, he's hiding. You're hiding him under a hat. You're hiding him under sunglasses. Like, he's a handsome dude. Have him take his hat off.
show like what he looks like, that makes it like it makes it more of a fashionable image. Like he has too much ornamentation. Like right now, I have a hat on. Earlier, I had sunglasses on. Also, I have this on. Too much ornamentation. You understand? I have too much stuff on my face. When I take this hood down, take this hat off, take these glasses off, now you can see me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm lit. So, but you see these here? Those bags under my eyes? Watch this. Sunglasses? They're not there anymore. You see this hair, which needs to be cut? I need to cut my hair. That's why the hat's on. So, men's styling, it's a thing. And sadly, so many dudes have no clue, or their women dress them poorly. So when you're photographing, say this: no patterns. And then your subject will just pull stuff that's solid. Say no logos, no patterns. Then you get basics. You get black t-shirts, you get white t-shirts, you get gray, you get solids. And then your fashion is not fashion, it becomes classic, timeless. This sweater, yes, is gonna get you canceled. Gunru, you have to tell me if you are Ian Martin, and if that's the case, please don't have a different name on YouTube that you have like on my community or with your submissions, because it makes it really confusing. Like truly, I gun RYU, I don't know who you are, but I feel like I do. So yeah, this is why everybody is just their real name, right? Sean Thomas, Autolux Imagery. This guy's just promoting his business. But I still think Autolux Imagery should be Sean Thomas Photography, personally. All right. That was Natalie Bennett, guys. All right, Natalie, by the way, I'm giving you love. I'm giving you love because this is such a level up for you. This is such a level up for you. But again, I don't want you to think that you've hit the mark. You're Helmut Newton now. I want you to be now completely scrutinizing every single thing, including the fashion that the people who are in front of you are wearing. That is your responsibility. Your responsibility. All right, Gunru, you're not Ian. Got it. But it's confusing for me. All right, so this is Durrell Scott. Durrell says, a shoot for a friend that's building a portfolio shot in studio with a single strobe. R6 Mark II, 24-105 at 40 millimeter. Please buy a 50. ISO 100, 1/60th of a second, f5.6. This is Durrell Scott. Durrell, there's a vibe here. There's definitely a vibe here. There's a couple of things that I see. I see the fabric background instead of the paper background, so I can see the wrinkles of the fabric down here. Her hair's kind of busted, Durrell. Like, I feel like she needs some product or something in her hair so it's not so dry. This is your portfolio, and this is you saying that this is the best that I can do with this girl's hair, right? Or it's saying that you don't care. So for me, there's some skin retouching that you could fix. There's a couple of scars here that I'm sure she'd be happy if you took away. And then for me, I know that this is a scar and this is part of her, but it's so much a part of this picture. And it's like, A, you retouch it. B, you style her in such a way that you don't see it. So for me, it's like there's a couple of elements in this picture. Like there's a vibe here. Like I see that there's a vibe. She's pushing too hard on her left arm, and it's like pushing out her tricep too much and then making my eye go to that scar. And then the way that you've cropped her, we don't really see any of her body. We're just seeing her face, and her body kind of looks weird down here. So it's more like the body language. For me, this shot, it's more just her face.
Like, that's more what you're focusing on. And if that's the case, you have to frame it in such a way that that's what you're focusing on. Her bra strap is twisted, which you can see clearly here and here. Like, to me, it just feels like this girl's not ready. She's not ready to be on set photographed, or like you just rushed it to make it happen, because it's not like there's no polish. We need a level of polish. The light is okay, but I need more. You can't use fabric. You can't, because fabric goes like this unless you pull it taut, which takes out all the wrinkles. Simple white background, simple gray background, simple black background. These kinds of details, how can you miss that? It's like right next to her face. So you say, hey, your bra strap is crooked. Can you undo that and redo it? Like, your chain is crooked. Can we blah, blah, blah? Like, your hair, can we like brush your hair out? Can we smooth your hair out? Can we add some product to make it feel a little bit more done? Like, all of these things are what we do as photographers to raise the bar. When you just are too embarrassed to ask, too shy to ask, you end up getting what you're getting. And for me, it's not acceptable. It's just not. Like, you have, like, Darrell, I know you've had a hard time, dude. You're trying to just get back into it, but slow down is my suggestion. Slow down, and take your time. Shoot one frame and scan it like at this level, like this. Scan it and go through every single thing and notice every single thing. When you do that on your first frame, then you see all of these things that I'm pointing out to you. So this is your mission, Darrell. This is your life, your career. You have to take it seriously. There's no other way. Guys, that's Darrell Scott. Feel like a couple, again, you're coming into something, but you got to try harder. You got to try way harder, my guy. All right. That is Darrell Scott. Next up is Daniel Van Cleef. Hello, Obi-Wan and fellow Padawans. I finally decided to share this image. One of many I did a shoot for a reoccurring client. She runs an independent clothing brand that uses natural dyes. The shoot is focused more on e-commerce, so it wasn't the most creative project, but it was excellent practice. There'll be more creative projects coming with this client in the near future. It was my first time working in a studio with strobes and fills, and I've been eager to be more creative in that environment. I'm excited to keep improving in this area. Still so much to learn. I'm currently picking out a few shots that might work for my portfolio. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Does this one make the cut? Thanks advance for sharing your knowledge and feedback. Fuji X Pro 3 35mm crop sensor. ISO or 35mm lens on a crop sensor, ISO 250 at 121.25 of a second, f13, and at 35mm with a crop sensor, which is probably like 45 millimeters around there. Guys, this is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, this is a vibe, Daniel. I mean, I want you to watch your light and fill because it ends up giving you double shadows. I'm not really seeing the double shadows. This is like a one light situation here. Let's look at this closer up. I mean, it is good exposure, but I'm just worried about like the image quality on her actual face at this level. I want to see, I'm not sure about your camera. Like, I don't know much about that Fuji. Let's look at your crop. Let's just move this over and pretend it was an 8x10 like that, and then move this up. You can see it crops well to an 8x10, Daniel. You cropped this perfectly. I'm just worried about what this picture looks like when I blow it up. Meaning when I go to 100%. When I go to 100%, I'm just worried about the sharpness that's happening in here. It's not quite as sharp as I would want it to be.
I'm thinking that's because of your camera, your crop sensor. Your light placement is good though. You're using front camera light, which you can see gives us a little bit of modeling and a little bit of shape under there. You could have skied the light a little bit higher, which would have given us just a touch in here and a little bit under here, a little bit here. She is pulling her chin back. You can see that she's pulling her head back. You can see that based on what's happening under here. So you're always trying to get them to project to the camera. She's pulling back. Good hair. Obviously, she's a stylist or a designer, and this is e-commerce, so the clothing is nice. It's a cool onesie. I'm giving you love for this, Daniel. This is a vibe. The background is cool, although again, the brown background really lends itself to like, you love it for a minute and then you hate it, like chocolate brown. I would love to have seen this on a gray, a bit more of a neutral background, but again, it's like the client preference. The next thing is watch your horizon line. I feel like you could lower yourself just a little bit to lower this horizon line just a little bit more in the frame so it doesn't go through like this little banding from the seamless. And you can also see that banding from the seamless is crooked, right? You can see, which means like your frame is a little bit crooked, or the way that you set up the seamless isn't exactly right because that line back there is not straight. So these are all like learning how to work with a seamless. I'm going to rent a studio and go through all kinds of different processes and show you like exactly how to set up the studio, how to do a perfect white. Like I'm going to show you how to do a one light, how to do it. Like I'm just going to do like a little lighting workshop if that's something that you're interested in. We'll get that going in January. All right, guys, this is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, this is a banger for me. I appreciate you. Thanks for submitting. By the way, follow the Carty Method on Instagram if you're interested in supporting the people who submit every week. Like it's kind of dope to follow the Instagram because seeing people's progress is super easy. It's super easy and it's super beautiful. So I'm at Steve Carty, but the Carty Method is also on Instagram. It is run by the mighty Ammon Thompson, and Ammon is the last photo. No, not the last photo, but Ammon's coming up. We are at 4 more submissions, guys. This is calligraphy. Good afternoon. My voice is gone. I'm going to call. All right. Thank God you didn't hear any of that. All right. Good afternoon, Carty and crew. My current profile and about me cover. This community, the community says I look sad, but that's just me. What do you think, Chief? Looking forward to your insights. Nikon Z8, 85mm, ISO 100, 1/200th of a second, f8. Textbook settings in studio with the mighty calligraphy. Let's go. Calligraphy, you do look a little sad. I can't lie. You definitely look a little sad. You're so like, but again, the thing that I know is like you've had the weight of the world on your shoulders for the last little bit, my guy. So I'm feeling what you're giving me here. I like the vibe. Let's look at it as a cover. You can see it's just, for me, the look on your face, because your mouth is turning down. Like that's the reason that people are saying that you look sad. It's because your mouth is turning down. Whenever the corners of the mouth are turning down like so, whenever they're turning down, it just reads like you're not happy. You know what I mean? So even if that's not what you're feeling with these kinds of images, like you kind of have to, I don't want to say put on a face, but I'm definitely saying like it helps if you, what I tell people to do is to think of something that makes them happy. Think of something that gives them joy. And then that just brings up your whole face. I want you to watch the like vertical lines that are happening back here. I feel like that might have to do with light or the seamless, but I definitely see, you see dark light, dark line, light, dark line, like they're happening back here. So I see that. I want you to definitely be wary of that. I love the gray on gray. It's dope. And obviously this is one of my coolest collections, the S Prime
collection. This is a yes on every front for me, calligraphy, except for the expression. I just need you to be a little bit light like a feather, but heavy like lead. You know, and again, that's your vibe. You're light like a feather, but heavy like lead. It's just lately you've been a bit heavy, you know, because again, the world is waiting on you, but I know you like to smile. I know that's your vibe. I'm just showing you what it looks like as an 8x10 or what it'll look like on Instagram. If you have another expression, my guy, from this frame, if you have another expression, I mean, from this set, I'd ask for it because I agree with the public. I think that you do look a little bit like you have the weight of the world on your shoulder. So I like you, my guy. I mean, I love you. You're my family. I like this image is what I'm trying to say, my guy. I like it enough to want you to give me another edit or reshoot it because it's dope. So just, yeah, I mean, and again, because I know you and I know you're having a hard time, it's like, sometimes it's hard to like, and again, it's just neutral, you know what I mean? But neutral, confident, you just look upset, my guy. And it's hard because I don't know what's happening or what you were thinking about, like whether you were pressured, you just wanted to get this done or whatever. You can't just say, that's just me. That was you that day. That was you that day. But you can't say that that's just me. Because I've seen that the corners of your mouth turn up plenty, my guy. And especially when you're talking about something that you're excited about. So for me, when it comes to being attached to my brand, I want you to feel a little bit more excited. I'm sure you understand. Guys, that's calligraphy. Calligraphy. I mean, he is a one-word man, so I merged two things together there, and I know you heard me, calligraphy. But well played, well done. Yeah, again, I love it. I just want another expression, my guy. Yes or yes. Taylor's flipping. Taylor, chill out. All right, let's get into our next shot and our next shooter. Mike Steinmetz. Mike says, here's another frame from the shoot with Chad, my new welder. The bottle of Kentucky bourbon I gave him in exchange for his time and materials has ensured that I'm welcome to come shoot him anytime. We'll do this again. From now on, I offer up a wide crop from the first shoot. R8, R50, R8 with a 50 millimeter 1.8. ISO 200, 121, a 25th of a second, 7.1 is the F. Shot with the Godox with a 24 softbox to the left. This is the mighty Mike Steinmetz. Mike, this is a vibe. You gave me a little bit more room here. Let's look at this as the cover of the Carte Method magazine. Like, Mike, again, I told you, you are an editorial shooter. I like what you're doing here. Like, imagine this front light is the beginning of something. I can't wait until you start throwing now a secondary light into the background. Throwing... I said I would cough. My word. Throwing a little bit of light into this background, Mike, is the next thing. Because I like the blue cast, but the blue cast is coming from the weld. So I want to see some gelled back here. Something back here. A little bit of polish, a little bit of separation. Like just a little bit of something. Like a secondary light for me is that missing link. Let's look at this as an 8x10 is what I'm trying to say here. Let's look at this as an 8x10. How do I do that? Here we go. Mike, yeah, I like this. I like the bouncing sparks. And the funny thing is, when you see this as an 8x10, it really brings you into the bouncing sparks and really brings you into what he's looking at and what he's doing. Because it cuts out this, right? Which to me is it's a little distracting up there. But I like this very much. This is a yes for me, Mike. I like this a lot.
So yes for me. And thanks for backing up a bit. I know you've done a version of this picture again, but more pictures like this of Chad. Well played, Mike. Well played. That is Mike Steinmetz, everybody. Michael Steinmetz. This is Amand Thompson, Jenna's daughter. You saw Jenna's headshot a couple of weeks ago, and they followed up with me for a family session. We had a great time, and it was nice to gain more experience with outdoor flash. Here's one of their pics from the session. Shot with the Fujifilm X-T5 with a Viltron 56mm 1.4, ISO 125, ISO 125 at 250th of a second at f2. F2 gives me anxiety. Amand, F2 gives me anxiety. Shot with the Godox V1 with a softbox on a stand. This is Amand Thompson. Amand, thanks for submitting. Well, you pulled off the F2. Let's have a look at this close up, my guy, before I show you the crops. You pulled it off with the F2. Your focus is pretty on the button. Exposure in the face, Amand. This is very close, but I would go up plus a third. I bet you if you go a third up, this is gonna snap just a little bit. Her teeth, whiteness of the eyes is gonna snap just a little bit. I also, again, want you to remember, like, you're using outdoor strobe, but your strobe has to be just a little bit more powered, so it brings the balance between this and this just a little bit more. Let's look at the whole picture. It's cute, man. Like, I like the foliage in the foreground. I'm going to show you this as a cover. I mean, it's dope, Emin. You're very, very, very close. Looking at it like this, I mean, I want you to watch the color balance. It's a little blue. It could use just a little bit warming up, just a touch. But overall, this is a win for me. This is a win. It's cute. It's awkward. It's a very natural, real picture. This is an 11 for me. Watch your F2. For me, you could have shot this at 2.8 and got virtually the same look and feel on depth of field, but will give you a little bit more forgivability on depth of field. And keep in mind, you're shooting F2 because, where's my mouse? No, it's here. Because you're shooting F2, which is giving you eyes in focus, but ears out of focus. So go F like 2.8 and get eyes in focus and ears just out of focus, but then when it goes back there, all the rest of that's going to look just the same. So that, ladies and gentlemen, oh, that's not what we're trying to show you yet. Don't look there. That was, oh my God, you did it again. God, that, can you give me, there we go. Amand Thompson. This is a yes for me, Amand, if I didn't give you an 11 already. This is a yes for me. All right. Well played, Amand. Thanks for submitting. All right. Our next and final is the mighty editor, the editor of the stars, the guy who edits all my videos. His name is Benja Lee. Benja is quite a photographer. He's pretty dope. Benja did a video project. One of my assignments is a video, and Benja did that video project, and it was so good. I said at the end of it, I think you might have just got yourself a job, buddy. And yeah, he's been my editor ever since. I'm not sure how long it's been, Benja. Very curious to how long you've been my editor for. We haven't been dropping videos because, again, as you know, my mom passed the last day of November, and I have not shot a video since then, although I have got back into podcasting. We'll get back into dropping videos. Either we'll drop one over the holidays, I'll make one over the holidays, or in the new year. All right. Benja Lee. Benja says, I like this one, but she was a little close to the wall, and I'm not sure if it works or not. Need your advice. Sony A7R4, 85mm, ISO 400, 3/20th of a second at 2.8, and shot natural light overcast. This is Benja Lee. Benja. No, I don't mind her against the wall. I don't think that she's too close to the wall. I like where you placed her on the wall because you placed her in this little differentiation part of the brick, which separates her head from the rest, but we still have this contrast of the black on black. So good placement. I mean, I talked earlier about the wall, like when the subject's here and they're like this, and then you're shooting this way. It's really impossible to get your line straight. For me, I'm very deliberate. I shoot like perpendicular to the wall so I can control my lines. You have her turning towards the light, and that makes perfect sense. I also like to sometimes I will roll this shoulder this way, so she's leaning with this shoulder, but her whole body is facing that way. So I'll have her this way with her head here, and then I'll shoot this way, and then use leading line and depth of field going behind her, especially if the light source is coming from this direction. Light source meaning the natural overcast light. Benja, this is really good for me. I'm gonna be anal and tell you to watch your framing. As you can see, she's just offset, and it's not offset enough to look intentional. It's offset enough to look like an accident. So you can see like the center mark is there, but she's off the center just enough for it to be too much. It's just enough to be frustrating. Way to watch how close her fingers are to the edge. You wouldn't be able to cut now from the fingers, right? Because they're right on the edge. So your only option now is to cut from the top. So now that I drop this 8x10 frame in, you see you can't really do that without like now being too claustrophobic on the top of her head. So you have really no choice but to like drop it there and then cut her hands off when it goes to Instagram, because that is literally your exact Instagram crop. So these are, and also once it's cropped like that, you can see how the offset almost appears more. You can see like she seems more offset now than she even did even before. So these are small things, Benja, that I'm helping you take your photography, which is already quite good, to another level. These are the small things that I want you to be watching. I want you to be just hyper vigilant is the word I'm looking for. Be hyper vigilant about all of this stuff: fashion, cropping, angles, light. The light's gorgeous. Your exposure is gorgeous. I'm going to just show you this as a close-up so you can see what I mean when I say your focus and your exposure is gorgeous. You're right on the button here. I'm just wondering if there's another edit. If there's another edit, I don't know how many you shot here, but this is a win. This is a win. Even if this was the one that you used, it'll work. You could crop it, just pull it down from this corner, and crop it to make it a little bit more centered. If you just do one of these, oh, that's a great line, Carty. If you just do one of these, like pull down that way, and then pull down that way, like you could crop that way and make it a little bit more centered without taking away from her fingers. But that's really your only option. But then again, it makes it even harder for it to be an 8x10 because it's going to crop even more from her fingers. So guys, that is Benja Lee. It's a yes for me, Benja. I just want you to be hyper vigilant with all the other stuff that I talked about in that. Benja Lee, everybody. Photographer first, editor second. All right, so let's get into the photos of the week. Best in show. I'll spin the wheel for the assignment next Thursday. Not only you're gonna have like you're gonna have a whole week and a half to like do this assignment. Well, that's what you normally get, right? You get 9 days. Yeah, this is what's normal. So let me first, before I spin the wheel, decide on photos of the week. How about we do that? And in no particular order, I am giving you my favorite and what I will call the best photos of the week, starting with this first one right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Christmas, Mats. Thanks for being here. Happy Christmas, but you should probably stay for 35 more seconds. Happy Christmas. Guys, our first photo of the week goes to Jennifer Grace with a photo of the week. Well done, Jennifer. Just remember all the things that I said that you can use in your arsenal to make this even better. But this is a very good swing. I'm giving you a photo of the week on this one. That is Jennifer Grace. Jennifer Grace. Our next photo of the week goes to the mighty Mats Carlson. Mats, photo of the week, my guy. Photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to, and again, I see you, is what I'm going to say. This next shooter, I see you. And despite incredibly long review and a lot of critiques, your next photo of the week goes to Robert Myrick. Robert, it's a photo of the week. This is going to be a pivotal turning point for you. I feel that. Feel this, Robert. It's a photo of the week. And again, I saw the quality right away. Okay? I saw the quality right away. But I want to make sure that I'm taking you down the right path. And you keep saying that you're not ready. You're ready. You just need to stop fucking around. Like, just commit. Seriously. Yeah, this is your work and you're saying you're not ready. Like, bro. Robert Myrick, photo of the week. Our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to Marco Nueves. Marco, I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate your words, the feels, and the execution. Because really, it's all about the execution here, people. It's all about the execution. This is a very well executed, complicated picture. Photos of the week, man. It's really hard because I have like lofty goals for you. Lofty goals for you. Our next photo of the week goes to, and again, this next shooter, same thing for you. Remember every single thing that I said about this picture and the rules, but still. Your next photo of the week goes to the mighty Ian Martin. Mighty. It's a beautiful photo, Ian. I know I'll get shit on if I don't give you love. But I want you to hear every single thing that I said as far as the framing of this picture. All right, that is Ian Martin. Our next photo of the week. And again, about this one. I don't want you to think that I don't see you as well, mister. Next photo of the week. The mighty Joshua Haney. Joshua. Well played, Joshua. Again, I gave a very in-depth, detailed review on this photo and as to all the whys as well. The why. Why you lower the horizon line. Why you move the girl off the gutter. Off the horizon line as well. Like, why you choose sky or you choose the bottom. You decide. Do not drop your composition dead in the center and make your viewer decide whether this or this is more important. You tell them. But beyond that, it's a banger. Photo of the week. Oops. Photo of the week. I pushed the wrong button. Photo of the week, my friend. Congratulations. All right. That was Joshua Haney. All right. Our next top shotter. The next top shotter. This photographer is another one. Like, I think I went pretty deep into an article of clothing. For real. I dived into like
Oh yeah, the camera's here. I dived into an article of clothing. Yeah. So, this next shooter, so happy with you and your progress, but I need you to be more insane, be more fashion forward, be more, yeah. I want you to look at Italian Vogue, look at Details, look at like the right magazines so you can have the men that you photograph dressing the part, because that makes you look better. You can't have them just walking into your studio with whatever they have on, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, our next photo of the week goes to the mighty Natalie Bennett. Natalie, congratulations, Natalie. I'm sorry, my fingers, I pushed the wrong button. Natalie Bennett with a Carty approved photo of the week. And yes, this week's assignment is coming up next. This is a photo of the week, Natalie. Congratulations. I want to see more photos of the week from you. And I have to tell you, our next photo of the week here, people, goes to Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, very well played. Very well played. Again, clean. There's a vibe here. Crops well. You have all the understanding. I want you to watch your horizon lines and that seamless gutter. Make sure that seamless gutter runs perfectly parallel across the bottom of your floor. That was Daniel Van Cleef, people. Next photo of the week. Despite the expression, this is still absolutely killer. People, photo of the week from Calligraphy. This is killer, bro. The tone on tone and the vibe, this is just killer. Killer. Don't get it twisted. The sad face is growing on me, my guy. It's growing on me, but I do want a little bit more of a neutral picture. Subscribe if you like my smiling face, by the way. It's free. It's free to subscribe, and it helps me so much. We are at, with the subscribers, by the way. Holy moly, how many we got? Oh, at least it's not minus 20. How many we got? We're at 27.8. We're on the way to 28,000 subscribers. I appreciate you if you subscribed recently. That's the camera. Yeah, you. Appreciate you if you subscribed recently. All right, our next photo of the week goes to the mighty Michael Steinmetz. Michael, well played, buddy. Very well done, Mike. Photo of the week for you. This made me happy. This was technically very, very, very good. Watch your elbows. It's a little tight on that side. You got lots of space over here. Make sure you're squared up, you know. Watch your things like this in the foreground. Make sure that this, like, either take it out or, like, just, you know what I mean? Just style your area. Make sure that shit is really nice. Style back here, you know what I mean? This kind of stuff. Make sure you're nice and clean and then, yeah. But anyways, that's a photo of the week. Well done. Well done. That is Mikey Steinmetz. And our last photo of the week. Good to have this photographer back to submitting. You know him as the editor of The Stars, Benja Lee. Benja. Well played, buddy. Carty approved. Yes, it can go in your book. Just do that crop that I mentioned. Everybody who submitted, I thank you. I appreciate you all for submitting. I do would like to make some honorable mentions to Steve Boudreau, who really came in very, very close to getting some love. Taylor Valentine, again, very close to getting some love. And also Durrell Scott. Like, when I first saw the picture, Durrell, I was like, yes. And then I started to really see some stuff in that picture. And it's like, I just want you to be at that level that you like care enough to notice. And there is no shortcut, bro. I hate to be so dry, but there's no shortcut.
I just wanted to let you know, like, you were very close. When I first saw it, this picture small, I was like, yo. And then, and then Ammond, you were definitely, it's so close. I think more, it's just this girl's just a little young. And I think like there's like a little bit of awkwardness with her that is really hard for you to like undo. But just as far as a portfolio picture, I feel like the older sister is a better example within the same vibe than this one. So, is there an overall best? And again, Raphael, there's some technical things with your photo as far as the color balance and the shutter sync at 1,000th of a second. There's a couple of technical things that I want you to be working on. So that being said, I pretty much mentioned and gave love to everybody today that submitted. So thank you. We want a wheel spin. I want a wheel spin. I want to see what this week's assignment is. So let us see what is this week's assignment. And how we do that every week, I spin on Tuesday the assignment wheel of destiny. I'll say it again. The assignment wheel of destiny. All right, let's spin that assignment wheel of destiny and see what the assignment wheel is. Calligraphy, I know you're out there. This is where Calligraphy keeps track, because he keeps track of all the assignments and fills them out, makes them all nice, and posts them for me in communities. Thank you, Calligraphy, for doing that every week. Twice. Guys, this is this week's assignment. Let's spin the wheel. We are spinning. God is in the details we did 2 weeks ago. So this is one of those things where we're going to have to spin another one. It's okay. Sometimes we have to do this. Now that we've been spinning the wheel for a while, sometimes we have to do extra spins. So we're going to spin and try to get something that we haven't done. Minimalist image. We have done this recently. So we're going to do one more spin and see if we can get... Might be time for me to do some new assignments, people. Give me a good one here. High concept hero image is exactly what we are doing. So that is going to be a high concept hero image. So let's go through the high concept hero image so I can tell you what that is. So, high concept hero image. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to make a visually striking high concept image that combines two distinct elements. Look, I'm Nixon. I am not a crook. So no, I want you to create a high concept hero image. Basically, I want you to create a high concept image that combines two distinct elements. Now there's balloons. Portrait shooters. You can merge two aspects of a person's story, i.e. their work life and their personal life. How would you smash those two together to make a high concept image? If you shoot places, imagine integrating two contrasting environment, like an urban environment versus a rural environment. How would you merge that together? And if you shoot things or products, imagine combining two different uses of a product, or showing a product interacting in its environment in a creative, unexpected way. So high concept hero image. I can show you a high concept hero image. I mean, this shit is not easy. So I'm going to show you some of my, here's a high concept hero image. Here's one. This is a high concept hero image. I'm going to show you another high concept hero image. Where's the mirror? Jeez Louise. I don't have any rhyme or reason for the order of my pictures. It's just visual. but I have to find a couple of high concept hero images. Okay, where's another example? Here is a high concept hero image. Here is a high concept hero image. Here is a high concept hero image. Night, smoke, multiple lights, props, styling, like so many different elements to this image. This is a high concept hero image. Location, juxtaposition, body language, confidence. Here is a high concept hero image. Movie poster, artwork, styling, light, mood. This was the picture I was looking for. Here is a high concept hero image. Student is walking from his bedroom into the classroom through a portal. The teacher is stunned as he's writing equations on the board for time travel, wormhole metrics for time travel. So he is mapping out an equation for time travel as a student walks through the wall. That is a high concept hero image. So you can be simple like this. Souls of Black Folk, like this portrait of this rapper that I shot. You can be as complicated or as simple as you can handle. This is a marathon walker. He walks roughly 300 kilometers a week. He has the world record for the most amount of kilometers walked in a single year. So I took a picture of his legs. You know what I mean? So conceptual, high concept hero image. And this is the rest of him. So that's what I want you to be thinking of. It's not easy, but it is definitely possible for you to make a high concept hero picture. It's what we get paid for. Literally, it's what you want. If you want to get paid 5 G's a day, it's learning how to make high impact, high concept hero pictures. It's what we do. So there's plenty of examples on my website of some conceptual like images that, like, this is again a conceptual image. I happen to show the concept is like showing a little bit behind the scenes, but making it almost impossibly perfect. So that is some inspirations. If you want to learn how to make 5 G's a day, dude, you got to be in my accelerator. Yeah, I can show you. I'll show you an invoice. This is the last thing I'm going to do today before I tune out. I'll show you an invoice. Show an invoice from December 2023. That was the biggest job I've ever done. So this is the biggest job I've ever done. And just to give you an idea as to when I say I don't fuck around, this is a job that I did in August 2023. And Gunru, you're freaking over when I say $5,000 a day. Watch this. This is an invoice that is $52,900, as you can see here. Sorry, I can't make it any bigger. Oh yeah, I can. $52,900. And how do we get to $52,900? Let me break it down for you. So the ask is 60 finals for advertising, 12 short videos, and 1 B-roll video asset. Okay, one B-roll day on location, $5,000, including gear. $5,000 a day includes gear and edit. So one B-roll day. 2 video days on location, $5,000 a day, including gear and edit. Stills, because I'm a photographer. 2 days stills on location, billed at $3,000 a day. 5 days for Jason, my assistant, which I pay him $350 a day. 5 days for a digital kit, lighting kit, and I billed out at $250 a day. 60 retouched finals at $50 per. And then usage. Full usage bundle. Using my images. Buyout means they own them for outdoor, print, online, and POP. Well, not they own them, but it's a shared copyright. $25,000. Travel days times 2, $100 a day, $200. Travel days for my assistant, $50 a day, that's $100. 4 nights in a hotel, $150 a night, that's $600. Equals $52,000, $900, which they paid. No, they do not get the raw images, Gunru. They don't get raw images. They don't pay for raw images. They only get retouched finals. So that right there shows you, yeah. So when I say $5,000 a day, that's just like, it's pretty standard. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty standard. This was my biggest invoice in a while, but understand, like, $20,000 invoices are nothing. Like $20,000 invoices are nothing. And $50,000 invoices are nothing. And again, deposit upon acceptance, which they gave me a deposit, usage, buyout, 60 images, print, outdoor, web, like, and they paid and are still using my images to this day. So there's a reason that I have this YouTube channel, but also I want you to understand this. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a photographer first. This is what I do. What I'm doing here is to help you. But if YouTube stopped tomorrow, it's fine, because I'm a photographer. That's what I do. And yes, no, they didn't get raw files. No, bro, nobody gets raw files. But they paid me $60,000, and it's like, yeah, but they didn't pay for my raw files, because that would have been another 100. They don't get raw files. No, no. They get retouched finals. What would they need raw files for? Why would they need them? So anyways, that, guys, is an episode. I hope that brought you value. Calligraphy, please keep track of high concept, conceptual. High concept, conceptual. That is your assignment. I'll be looking at that on the 2nd of January, which is next Thursday. It was a very long stream today for only looking at 16 images, but I love you guys. I wanted to give you a very happy Christmas. And although nobody became a member while I was live, still, I'm going to give you the smoke, because it's all about that. This is my last episode before Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Know this, 2025 is going to be the craziest year for the Carty method that there's ever been. So if you've been on the fence, guys like you, Robert, who's waiting for like the fucking wind to be blowing from a right direction or some shit before you jump into really doing this properly, so be it. But for the ones who are ready for the kind of high quality content that we are delivering in this accelerator, my current people just finished phase 5. They're in phase 5 right now. I just did the presentation for phase 5, which is outward reach. They are ready to not only take on the world, but they're also ready to show you how it's done. Because, like I'm telling you, of the 40 people who are in my accelerator, I have like 25 absolute assassins. The 15, they're slower to take traction, but those people we just give extra help, so nobody gets left behind. But I got some killers in my accelerator. Guys, I hope today brought you value. I love you all. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. hug somebody. I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much for watching.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
Registration is now open for my 2025 professional accelerator. Just go to thecartymethod.com/accelerator and register. With that registration, you will get phase 0, which is called Setting Your Stage Workbook. Complete that workbook and submit it by January the 4th to be considered.